Hey guys, Ken Smith Fishing. If this feels a little bit pieced together, it's because I've already recorded this once and I screwed it up. So I'm recording the front end again, and I'm hopefully going to be able to piece it together with the back end. So you guys will remember at the Gill Tournament, I got cold. It was in the 30s and it was raining and it was windy. And I came home from that and I put out a video to you guys and I said, man, I got to get me some better boots. I got to get me some boots, period. So I've always worn those, you guys have seen me in them. They're the rubber bottoms and the leather upper zip up boots. They're super comfortable. I've got a very nice pair of insoles in those boots. But the problem with those boots, because of that leather upper, no matter how many times I've sprayed them with Camp Dry, which I've sprayed them 20 times, when they get soaking wet, your feet get wet. And there's no way around it. So I came home and put out that video and said, guys, make a recommendation to me. And I got a whole bunch of guys responded to me. And actually I leaned on Moon Pie on this. And Moon Pie suggested this boot. It is called the Columbia Fairbanks. It is called the Columbia Fairbank boot. And what Moon Pie said to me was, he said, you're gonna love this boot. It's like putting on a pair of tennis shoes. And I gotta tell you, he's right. Now this is only about $130, $140 boot. They're on sale right now a bunch of places for like 90 bucks. I bought them for 90 bucks. What I love about them is this. So that's a size 12. That boot weighs 1.1 pound and 1 ounce. It weighs nothing. And that's a size 12. Weigh one of your tennis shoes and see how much that weighs. So I bought these the other day and we're gonna do a little experiment with them here in just a second. But before we go there, let's talk a little bit about rain suits. I get a lot of questions about this. So I fished for many years and a bunch of different stuff. My main two go-to rain suits was Bass Pro Shop 100-mile-an-hour rain suit, which there's nothing wrong with that suit. And then I had a Cabela's Guidewear lightweight uninsulated summer rain suit, which by the way I still have and I still do wear on occasion. I kind of wore out, you know, those Gore-Tex garments eventually will let water seep in. And I'll tell you a little secret on that. If you've got one that's near the end of its life expectancy, somebody told me this, I did it and it worked. If you'll iron it, it actually does something to that fabric and you'll get a little bit more wear out of it. But eventually they will start letting water in. So my last two rain suits, my Ranger branded rain suit and now my Bass Cat branded rain suit, are Gill rain suits. The one I have now is it's called the Tournament jacket and Tournament, and they call it like trousers or pants or something. They're both on sale because we're kind of at the end of the season for part of the country. I'll tell you, there's one thing I really like about that jacket, and that is I hate water going down my sleeve. Matter of fact, I tried to patent a gaiter like you wear over your boots snow skiing that would go over your gloves. And so that, because we're the only dummies in the world that stand out in the rain with our hands like this where water goes right down our sleeve, right? So I tried to patent this thing. There was a latex thing that went over your hand and up on your sleeve so that wouldn't happen. But come to find out, $3,500 later after I paid a patent attorney, I found out that somebody had already patented it for surgery, for physicians or surgeons, so they wouldn't have that issue. So I didn't develop that product, but one of the things a lot of these good rain suits now have is an inner liner, and this one does. It's got a rubber's probably not exactly what it is, but it's got a waterproof membrane. How about that? Ooh, University of Arkansas showing off my education there. On the inner sleeve with a stretchy Velcro that you can stretch it and tighten it up around your wrist. Now I'll tell you, you'll still get a little bit of water down there if you fish in them all day, but it makes a big difference. And then it's got an external or an outside on the shell of the jacket, a second one of those so you can pull it down tight as well. Another little hint I still do on occasion, you'll see me do this. I have about 10 sets of wristbands, like the old sweatbands we used to wear. And on those days when it's really pouring down, you'll see those around my wrist. The ones I use are black, so they're hard to see, but are dark blue. I put those on, and when they get wet, I throw them in a box and I put another set on, just like you guys have heard me talk about I've done with my gloves over the years. And I'll tell you, they work really well to help stop some of that seeping in there and your arm getting wet all the way down. But Gill makes that, 100-mile-an-hour suit makes the same thing, but I like that a lot. The one thing I don't love about that rain suit is when you have your hood up and it Velcros across your face, it's real restrictive through your neck. I don't know how to describe that, but if you're going to buy that suit and you're claustrophobic at all, you might want to try it on or try a buddy's on before you buy that suit, because that is the only thing that is really the only thing I don't like about that rain suit. The pockets stay dry. It's got pockets you can put your hands in to get them warm with that felt lining. It's a great rain suit. Of course, for $450, $500, it ought to be a good rain suit, but it is a very good rain suit. Those are the only two. I see guys now fishing in the frog togs. I've never tried that rain suit, but I've heard good reports. Sims, Huck, there's a bunch of good ones made. I'm just sharing with you the one I've tried and the ones that I've liked. If I get a chance to try those other ones, I'll talk about them as well. And by the way, I didn't say this yet. I have zero affiliation with Gill. I buy my products from them just like you do retail. I'm going to post some links down below to some of these products. But this is strictly me talking about what I've tried and what I like. In no way is this a paid or even a discounted endorsement for Gill or for Columbia, for these boots I'm trying on right now. I've just tried on. So I think that's everything I talked about the first time. We're going to jump now to where I had picked up talking about the boot, and I'm going to show you all these gloves as well. So I'm hoping you're enjoying this, and I'm hoping this doesn't come out completely goofy the way I'm piecing this together. Hey guys, I realized as I'm editing this thing, I got one more thing that I said the first time that I didn't say the second time. From a sizing standpoint on that Gill rain suit, so I am 6'2", 195, 198 pounds, 35, 36 inch waist, so kind of not shaped like this as much anymore as like that. But I in that Gill rain suit, I'm in a large. I bought extra large tops and bottoms, and they literally swallowed me up. So they're run pretty big. So just know that if you're ordering them offline, based upon my size, again, 6'2", 195 pounds, 35, 36 inch waist, 32, no, really 35, 36. I'm in a large, and they both fit me perfect. So if you're bigger than that, you might want to look at the extra large, but I want to kind of give you all that as a reference for trying this stuff on, because it's hard to find a lot of this stuff, and I thought that might help. And I played out in the ice in them a little bit, and my feet didn't get wet. But while we're sitting here talking, we're going to do an experiment. I have maybe a little bit too much water in that ice chest, but while we're sitting here, I'm going to stick my feet in the water and just see how truly waterproof. I'm just going to put one of them in there. So that is all the way up. That is up all the way up on my laces. And I can tell you my feet aren't getting wet. Now I just did a dumb thing, I got my hand wet. So I like these boots a lot. These are $140, $150 boots. And I guess end of season, they're also on sale several places. So I'll put a link down below. Now this is the thing, I'm gonna push that down. This is the thing that Dakota talked about. If you guys remember, I believe the second day, maybe it was the third day of the Bass Pro Tour event on Fork, that front rolled in, and it got windy and it got cold and it started raining on them guys. And if you remember, even the lenses on the camera was icing up. I mean, it got bad. And Dakota made a comment about how much he loved his Gill waterproof gloves. And these are expensive, by the way. These are about 50 bucks. And so when they had that day off, I texted Dakota and I said, hey, waterproof gloves. I said, did those things really work? And he said, man, I love these gloves. So they are very different looking. They look almost like knitted gloves. They've got a nice tacky palm on them. As you saw, I've not put them on yet. What I was curious about was how truly waterproof they are. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my hand covered in talc, and I'm gonna put that glove on. Now that's a pretty heavy glove, I'll tell you. You don't have the dexterity in this glove you do in some others, and you guys know I'm a big glove nut, right? I've talked about this in the past. I carry 10 or 12 pair of gloves in the boat, but this, all right, that's crazy, because that glove does not look like there's any way in the world it can be waterproof. But you just saw, I just completely soaked my hand in there. And there's still powder on my hand. I may be in love with a pair of gloves. And by the way, that boot's been in there that entire time. all the way up to right there. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but that boot was in there to that deep. And that's $200, I can tell you right now. I'm really happy I spent. Now, for most of us in Texas, I'm gonna say this, you know, winter hopefully is mostly past us. Now, having said that, in the late 80s, early 90s, the worst ice storm I was ever in was on April the 12th at Rayburn. Some of you guys may remember that. It was a Bassmasters top 6 tournament down there, and it iced us in. So bad stuff can still happen. But I'm gonna tell you right now, for basically $100 and change for these boots, I love them. And these Gill, those are cool. Again, they're just a little bit thicker than what I would absolutely love fishing in, but versus not being able to feel my hands, and they've got some kind of a lining in them. I'm telling you, if I saw a guy wearing those around, I would think those are not waterproof gloves. But they got that nice tacky hand on them. They've also got the thing so you can use your phone on the thumbs and the fingers. Those are very cool, and thank you, Dakota. He promised me if I bought them, I would be happy with them. And I bought them, and I hadn't fished out of them yet, and hopefully I don't fish out of them this year, but I suspect I will. But I've got me a good pair of waterproof gloves now, and a good pair of waterproof boots to go along with my Gill rain suit. And I just wanted to share those products with you that I found recently in hopes that maybe they help you guys out as well. So thanks for tuning in. On Thursday, I'll be back with part 3 with John Findyson from Texas Park and Wildlife, talking about what's going on in Texas and what they're doing for invasive species. And we're going to start getting into what's going on at Toledo Bend, where they're trying to figure out why that grass hadn't grown back. And again, there's something coming. I'm not sure if it's in part 3 or part 4 that's going to blow your mind about hydrilla and why it doesn't grow in Texas as good as it grows in some other parts of the country. So you guys stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in for Ken Smith Fishing. And by the way, thanks for sharing. I'm up over 16,000 subscribers. I get fantastic comments from you guys. I'm up over 3.5, maybe close to 4 million views now, which just boggles my mind. I appreciate you guys sharing my channel with your friends and helping me grow it the way I've grown it. It's still not my full-time living, and it's got a long ways to go before it is, but if we can grow it up, 50, 70,000 subscribers, I'd love to do this kind of stuff for you guys full-time. But in the meantime, if you need some life insurance, you know who to call. Thanks, guys. We'll see y'all soon.